Since opening up their economy from the ruins of a dark age in history, China has been on a path of rapid industrialization in effort to catch up with the other emerging economies of the world. Today, China has surpassed the US as the world's largest economy, the new mecca of capitalism. With all of this capital at their disposal, the last 2 decades have seen a major shift towards aggressive investment and lending practices, greatly impacting countries around the world. Now, the state has constructed and is vigorously pursuing an ambitious roadmap to one, push their manufacturing capacity beyond low tech to high tech, two, building a new and improved Silk Road. In this video, I will talk about what are the goals of these programs, how will they get there, what has been the international response, and what are some benefits and potential issues, and finally, the big picture implications of these initiatives. So Made in China 2025. In recent decades, the Chinese Communist Party has taken steps to shift the economy away from low value, low wage manufacturing to a high tech, high productivity economy. Introduced in 2015, Made in China is a 10-year plan for state-led industrialization to update China's manufacturing base by rapidly developing 10 high-tech industries for a more productive and competitive economy. These industries are aviation, electric power, new materials, railway transport, information technology, maritime engineering, biomedicine, agricultural equipment, new energy vehicles, and high-end robotics. So what are the goals? The main spirit behind this plan is to stay competitive in a rapidly changing economy and rebranding what it means to be made in China. The first of these goals is self-sufficiency, to reduce China's dependence on foreign technology and to promote Chinese high-tech manufacturers in the global marketplace. In 2025, China aims to achieve 70% of self-sufficiency in high-tech industries. And for the working people, Chinese leaders say that their commitment to a state-led industrial policy is necessary to increase incomes for their working people. And through technological innovation, similar to Japan in the 80s, they believe they can compete in fast-changing economy dominated more and more by high tech. Finally, the implicit but powerful goal is to catch up with and then surpass the technological prowess of the West. And by 2049, China hopes to achieve dominance in the global market for high-tech manufacturing. In other words, they are paving the way to become vanguards of what the world is calling the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So how will China get there? Most likely, they are going to get there through robust funding of research and development activities, as the Chinese government is fully embracing its role as an entrepreneurial state and mobilizing the market through subsidizing nascent industries. And the direct support of these industries are subsidies, state funding, low interest loans, tax breaks, and other subsidies like bonds. Through foreign investment, acquisitions, and joint ventures, China is able to accelerate the advance of their technology by benefiting from foreign innovations. For example, China has used its joint venture rules to acquire outside technologies ranging from high-speed rail to electric vehicle batteries. Despite China's vigorous approach in investing around the world, many critique of their unfair trade practices, as foreign firms must agree to disclose sensitive intellectual property and technological know-how in return for access to China. Leaders of the EU claim that this leads to skewed state-based economy and creates an unfair advantage. Next, the Silk Road. You've probably heard of the Silk Road before. It was an ancient trade route that once ran between China to Rome during the days of the Roman Empire and was an extremely important feat in globalizing trade. Well, today China is resurrecting it. Announcing in 2013, President Xi Jinping said it is the same idea but with a 21st century take. It will open channels between China and its neighbors in the West, most notably Central Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. It has been renamed as the Belt and Road Initiative and expands throughout 3 categories of pathways. First, over land reaching its way all the way to Rome. The second, through the ocean, linking China to the Mediterranean through the Indian Ocean. And third, the internet, which is called the Digital Silk Road, linking partners of the initiative through telecommunications and digital projects. And by 2019, the initiative already has several trillion of dollars worth of projects underway, including major infrastructure works in Africa and Central Asia. So here are the major goals. Through constructing strategically placed circuits of infrastructure, China hopes to unleash the potential for key ports, accessing key potential markets along the route, and therefore improving trade relationships in the region. But there's also resource extraction and transfers, which is a major piece as they build massive oil and gas pipelines between China, Russia, Kazakhstan, and Myanmar. They are even planning for a polar Silk Road as they team up with Russia to develop major energy transfer operations from the Arctic. The Chinese premier recently said that their aim is to kindle a new era of globalization, a golden age of commerce that will benefit the entire world. And to get there, they have already committed $900 billion of infrastructure investments and as much as $8 trillion lent for infrastructure in 68 different countries. A major supporter is Pakistan, likely due to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This $57 billion corridor connects the two countries using bridges, roads, and wind farms and other infrastructure projects. On the contrary, though, there has been expressed opposition against China by the Indian President Narendra Modi, as well as the lack of reception by Japan, South, and North Korea. Evidently, China's growing influence in trade is seen as a major concern and even a threat for these Eastern countries, whose political and economic interests do not always align with Beijing's. But let's think rationally about the benefits of these two initiatives. For Made in China, it provides independence from relying on foreign companies for important technologies like semiconductors. And the growth of small enterprise by subsidies to update their key industries and technology, not to mention innovation. And a major benefit is for the Silk Road is tapping into new markets along the Silk Road, particularly for steel and heavy machinery. And in this vein, the improved trans-Eurasian trade infrastructure could better integrate some of the most uncharted economies in the global south. And this can expect to boost economic growth, not only for China, but for the poor countries in the region as well. As some Western countries move backwards by erecting walls, China is building bridges, both literally and metaphorically. The chairman of Asia Partner Group says that bridges are the key to China's strategy. And if this manages to transform China into a high-tech powerhouse, along with enhanced global connectivity, China's enormous gravity could become even more powerful for the global economy. However, there are many critiques of this expansive and expensive development of neoliberalism with a Chinese flavor. Despite the bestowing of largesse all over the world, in both Made in China and the Silk Road, China has lent out trillions of dollars of loans with high interest and significant conditions. So for many countries who find it difficult to repay, it creates a vulnerable situation for the Chinese to seize control of national assets as collateral. For example, in Sri Lanka, this happened in 2015 when the Chinese forces took a strategic port in the southern tip as part of a 99-year lease. So what is the big picture here? That both Made in China 2025 and the Silk Road Initiative display is that they are both major launching points of one single roadmap to China's route to a superpower. As they become the world's biggest investor as well, it is harder to look away from the dependency that has already created for many developing nations. Now imagine how the situation will look in 2050 when the Silk Road and Made by China is in full force. Will governments be able to manage the pressure of the Chinese to liberalize their markets on Chinese terms? No one knows what the full impact will be, but one thing is clear. China is tipping the geopolitical balance of power and making other superpowers increasingly uncomfortable and competitive. like the United States. Regardless of all this criticism, there's no doubt that China is rigorously poising itself to metamorphosize into the next world superpower in terms of global trade, transnational infrastructure, and high-end technology. Moving beyond our ethnopolitical biases as global citizens, it will be a crucial task in the upcoming decades to rationally analyze how these developments are unfolding and what exactly those impacts will be on all of us and the Earth. Where is China taking us, and what will be your role in this making of history?